McLean criticized that policy, saying it's antiquated and it added to the confusion after the shooting of last November 1st.
LAX is dangerously disjointed. The model of having proprietary airport police is unnecessary.
It's not our responsibility to be on an island and not police this airport with everybody's help, but to use partnerships effectively.
McLean said there was chaos because of this policy after the shooting.
Bring that chaos under control.
But there was confusion because no one knew who was in charge.
Yes, there were issues with the command posts. There were multiple command posts.
But the chief said that policy has been changed, and he cited other changes as well. One, a notification system where text messages will be sent out immediately. Response teams coordinating fire, paramedics, police on deployment, and incident command, knowing exactly where to go and who's in charge.
I think that the airport is a safe place to be as much as you can make it safe.
It's not just what we want to have done, it's what all the experts are recommending that hasn't been done. So the money is definitely here.
The police union is currently in contract talks with the airport. McLean said bringing up these issues today is not a contract negotiation ploy, but simply a matter of public safety. From LAX, Dave Lopez, KCON 9 News.
The priority is the business engine, not the public safety part of it.
But the chief of the LAX Police Department strongly disagreed.
In every one of the upgrades that are made, the security issues involved in those upgrades are addressed.
Patrick Gannon, referring to a 7-page list of improvements, answered union leaders' allegations while standing in front of a group of uniformed officers from the LAPD, from LAX Police, and other partner agencies. He says since the acknowledged confusion of a year ago, after the shooting death of TSA officer Gerard Hernandez, security protocols have been significantly enhanced. LAX police say they work better with their partners. In addition, there are more closed-circuit cameras. They've had active shooter training, as it's called, with other agencies. They've bought more weapons, and they've created specialized airport response teams that can get to any part of the property quickly.
If I hire more police officers, does that make the airport safer? Yeah, maybe. If I enlist the help of the 54,000 employees here at the airport to help us make it safe, does that make it safer? I think yes, it does. And that's where our focus has been.
Clearly, there's a conflict between union leaders and LAX police management. They can't even agree on how many officers are actually on the job. Another ongoing sticking point, so-called split policing. Both LAX police and LAPD work here. The LAX Peace Officers Association would like it all to themselves. So far, that isn't going to happen.
Responding officers eventually shot and subdued the gunman, but not before one of the world's busiest airports was placed on lockdown. Well, immediately afterwards, lawmakers and officials promised to make LAX a safer, better prepared environment.
Here we are a year later with nothing much that has changed or improved as it relates to security.
Well, I'm sympathetic to that, and I understand that. But I also have ticket agents at those ticket counters that feel vulnerable. I also have baggage handlers down below that feel vulnerable. I also have taxis that are pulling up to the curb that feel vulnerable. And my job and our job is to provide that service to everybody and to try and do the best we can to deal with those particular threats. So. It is natural for the TSA officers to feel vulnerable, and I understand that. But I have teachers in my community that feel vulnerable. I have people that go to movie theaters now that feel vulnerable. It's a sad commentary on the United States. The issue, I'm going to get myself in trouble, but the issue for me is on the guns rather on some of the other things, or mental illness, or in some of the other issues that are involved in here that needs a robust federal and nationwide discussion with reasonable people to come to reasonable.
To these federal employees.
New security cameras, more emergency dispatchers, and new airport emergency response teams.
Are we better today than we were last year? Yes, we are. I'm not hiding behind anything about not wanting to hire more officers. If I thought we needed it, we'd hire it.
The usual response from unions that we need more. I'm not sure that we do need more.
Gannon defended the decision made in April that armed police need not be stationed at TSA checkpoints, but overall,
I'm not of the opinion that more guns mean more safety.
Ice bomb is a felony. It can cause death or serious bodily injury. The way it works is if you put dry ice into a container and you seal that container, the dry ice is compressed carbon dioxide. It's always changing its form from a solid to a gas. That gas that is being created is trapped, pressure builds up, and it will ultimately rupture the tensile strength of the container.
This 3-day ordeal has culminated in the arrest of an individual who perpetrated the placing of the dry ice bombs in these 2 locations. As you know, it began Sunday night, October 13th at about 6:40 p.m. in Terminal 2 in the men's restroom. The following night, we had more devices on the tarmac. The suspect is now sitting in jail, as the chief did predict, with $1 million bail.
The dry ice is readily used, or it's used frequently at the airport. All of the catering services that service airlines, some of them will use dry ice to pack different foodstuffs in. Kids have been building dry ice bombs for years, but it is not a prank, and it's going to be dealt with very seriously.